Yo, welcome back to the Audio Theory Podcast. If you're new to the channel, please hit the like button as well as the subscribe button. What's good, Danny? How have you been?
I've been good, dude. I've been good, man. Lots been going on in my life, dude. I've been cabin fever for the last 2 weeks. Haven't been going outside. As everyone can see, got some little work done. So we're in the healing process. So my shit might look crazy over the next 2 or 3 months, but just work with me here. We're trying to look good for a wedding, man. But how you been, bro?
Been good. Haven't really done too much in the past few days. I actually bought a new suit. So
oh, nice.
I don't know, for the longest minute.
For the fuck of it?
Yeah, kind of. I mean, I have a lot of weddings, including yours, over the next year or so. So I don't know. I feel like obviously a black suit is a classic color, but I wanted something a little more vibrant for, I don't know, beach weddings or just events where I don't want to be like in a
what color did you go with?
Kind of outfit. So it's this unique color. I have to shout out my wife for pointing it out. I was just trying to get like a lighter blue, but it's called Havana blue.
Okay.
It's kind of like a light turquoise. That's the best way to describe it. But in person, it looked fire. Like nice. I bought it 2 minutes after I tried it on. So
oh, nice. You're like
I'm
good to go.
rock it. Yeah.
Nice. Is it from that website you recommended to me? Like
Suit Supply?
Yeah, I'm definitely gonna use them for the suit that I'm gonna use for like the engagement photos and stuff.
Nice. Yeah, but yeah, super pleased with it. And then outside of that, going to LA for a quick little trip. How it came about is Moon and Alex, my boys who you met, they essentially are gonna be out there for work.
Oh, nice.
So they got an Airbnb over by the beach, and they were like, "Do you want to come?" And then I looked at flights; they were super cheap. So nice. Yeah, sure, why not? So decided to go out there to work for a little bit and also hang out and see some friends and family.
Oh, dude, yeah, kill two birds with one stone, right? Because you're saying Alex. Well, I don't know where Alex lives, but Moon is technically in San Fran, but like very far from you, right?
He's an hour south in San Jose, so yeah, he's not super close. So I mean, I see him every now and then, but it's not so easy.
It's not convenient. Like, yeah, it's like, I have the same thing like you. Like, I have my nephew lives like in Miami, right? But I'm like, like my grandma's like, have you seen him? I'm like, yo, you know that's just like an hour and a half away. Like, it's not
right.
Like, that's 3 hours of my day. And if I go there after work, I'm getting there like at 9. So we hang out for 20 minutes and I go home, bro? Like,
right. And especially if we're drinking, like we don't want to. We don't want to sleep over there, and then the Uber back is like $60. So we really have to make it like a worthwhile night if we kick it.
Bro, shout out to Uber in Dominican Republic though, bro. So dude, I'm Dominican. Everyone knows this, but like, I didn't realize how cheap that is. And that's not me being like doing better in life. Like, it's just cheap, bro. So like every time I've gone to DR in the past, I've stayed at a resort. So like, you know, everything's paid for. So you're not coming out of pocket for anything. And then when I went a year and a half ago, 2 years ago, dude, we were a group of 6. So everyone was splitting things or someone would pick up the tabs. So like, I wasn't fully aware of like how much money is being spent on a daily basis. But on this last trip, bro, like when I went for the procedure, bro, a 45-minute ride from the airport to the hotel was $19.75.
What?
Bro. And like I was shook because like the number said like 1,200 pesos. I was like, my God, what the fuck is this? I'm fucked. I can't pay. Like, and then I was like, oh, the exchange rate. All right, so it was $19, bro. The clinic where I got the procedure done from my hotel was a 5-minute Uber. That Uber cost $2.50.
Oh wow,
bro. I was shook, bro. Because I'm like, gas is still expensive all over the world. So like, how are you justifying this? But dude, I was like, OD with the tips. I was like, bro, if the Uber was $3, I'm giving you 15, bro. Just like, I feel bad, bro. Like, you have to take this money. So, but yeah, it's wild how like that varies from like country to country.
I know. Yeah, the Ubers here, depending on how far you go, can be as expensive as a flight to LA. Like, that's how crazy it is.
Dude, that happened to us. So like, obviously, I mentioned before, like Gina and I, we have deals on flights. But we had to fly into Miami on New Year's Day. And then the Uber from Miami airport, which is 45 minutes away to my house, was $125. And it's like, bro, I had no choice but to pay it. You know what I mean? But the wild thing is like, if I would have like been 5 miles away, it would have dropped to like 40-50 bucks. But it was just bro, like it's just fucking pay the Uber, bro. But yeah, like that, to your point though, that's how much my one-way flight to New York cost, was 150 bucks. So like, how is this even, like, how does this make sense?
Right. Yeah, it's wild. And I don't even know if Uber or Lyft are profitable companies.
Dude, I don't know, bro. But then you see them like expanding into like helicopters and all this other random shit. I'm like, they have to be making money, bro. Like,
but that's what I think about all these, like DoorDash isn't profitable apparently. I don't know if I don't know how it works with these investors, if they just keep throwing money at it till it becomes, worthwhile. But
like there's like some like a tax benefit of just like constantly losing money that you're like, that's fine. Let's just keep burning. Yeah, maybe, dude.
No
but
idea.
Yeah, but same. Like I had that same thought. Like when I was like, bro, how are they making money off this, bro? Like, how is like you making $4 from like 20 minutes of your day beneficial to anyone? You know what I mean?
Right.
But again, dude, maybe it works. But yeah, man. And then you have Hawaii coming up right after this trip, right?
Yep, Hawaii coming up a week from now. Exactly. So that'll be fun. Kind of made it a semi-annual type of thing. But we found some sweet deals around Black Friday. So
nice.
Apparently there's a day called Travel Tuesday, either the Tuesday before Black Friday or after. And that's how we found the tickets. It was like $200 a pop. So
the flight or just like getting like the hotel and stuff?
The flight was $200.
Nice.
So, which is a lot cheaper than normal. I think on average it's probably like $350, peak season like $500, $600, $700. So a lot cheaper.
And how long is that flight for you?
Like 5 hours, I think.
Okay, so essentially just like flying to Europe for like me.
Yeah.
Kind of. I get it. That's gonna be fun. But remind me, this trip is just you and the wife, or you guys have some people coming?
Yeah, just us.
Nice.
Obviously, would love to do it with you or friends or whoever in the future. At this point, we've done it, I think 4 or 5 times.
Yeah, we gotta make that happen. I was telling Gina, like after the wedding, once we settle down, God willing, like I think kind of like what you were talking about with like The Bachelor, like you come here and chill for a couple of days, and we'll go. I think same exact thing. Like we'll go hang out with you in the Bay for a couple of days, and let's just like leave together, kind of a thing.
For sure. Yeah, all my friends in the East Coast, like whenever I bring up Hawaii, it's like talking about going to Asia or some shit because it's so
far it's the same for me to go to India from New York. Like it's the same distance. So like that's why to do it all in one shot seems like fucking like you'll never enjoy it, bro. Like you're like, bro, like just get me off this plane, and then it's like 3 days later you're back on a plane home. So it's like but cool, bro. Excited for you. But probably the biggest thing before we get into any topics, we got some new music coming out in 24 hours from this pod. Is that accurate?
For me?
For you, yeah.
Yeah. Sorry, I thought we were jumping into the
No, I don't care about anyone else's music right now besides you, bro. So tell people to expect from the Blair Anthony project.
Yeah, tomorrow my new single, or the first single of the year, is dropping, called Reload. It'll be out 5 p.m. Pacific time on the 2nd of February. Super excited about this track. Just for context, the producer reached out to me several times several months ago, and I ignored him, not intentionally, but like I was off the gram. I wasn't really like trying to make music, so I didn't see it as urgent. And I get a lot of like random ass spam messages too, but he followed up with me. He was persistent, so I reached back out and was like, hey, after, like, if someone's hitting me up multiple times, clearly they want me to see it. So I listened to his beats, fell in love with one of them, had some old lyrics lying around that I was just kind of messing around, just humming to the song basically, and the lyrics worked out perfectly. So made the song, and super excited about it. Spent way too much time yesterday on those like little live snippet things I usually do for some releases, because I had an idea, like with my hand movements. I was like, it'd be cool if I had like a smoke GIF pop up, and then before I knew it, for like all the lyrics I was adding GIFs, and I think it came out pretty cool for someone who, like, I don't have any animation experience, but the GIFs look like I kind of made it from scratch specifically for the video. So
so this is for the actual video, for the snippet you're going to put out for the, like, when you drop everything tomorrow?
It's for the snippet tomorrow.
Okay, cool.
And some of, like, I've teased some snippets on TikTok and YouTube as well. my best performing YouTube snippet. I got like 15 subscribers from it. So
very nice, dude.
Yeah, trying to get into this or learn this whole social thing. Like I never really know what's gonna hit or miss because I tried all kinds of shit and it didn't land. And then sometimes I do something I think is kind of simple or generic and then it works. So
yeah, and then you don't know if it's the current trend, but dude, everything I keep reading or seeing on when I do pop on TikTok now and then, the cleanse is over, so I'll probably do more TikTok more recently. But I think like everyone keeps saying like, bro, like keep reposting your shit. They seem like the guaranteed way of fucking at least getting something to fucking hit. You know what I mean? Like some girls are talking about, they'll post their shit 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 times a day until it finally hits a number that makes sense for them. So that's pretty impressive, bro.
Yeah, no, good. That's a good thing that we've been trying that with our stuff, and I think we got some good momentum. I for some reason, I just assume like 4, 5, 6 times would be overkill and people get pissed, but I guess they show it to different people each time.
Yeah, that's the thing. Yeah, like because it's not the same person commenting every single time, right? Like, yo, I just saw this. Like, what are you doing? Like, so yeah. But dude, I'm excited, man. And the song is called Reload.
Yeah, Reload.
Awesome. Yep. Yeah, and this is something is like almost your first release in like 4 or 5 months, right? Or is it more than that?
Yep. Yeah, Paradise was my last one. I believe that was like end of August. So yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah, because it was Paradise. Did Paradise drop when you guys went to Italy?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
So that was like Labor Day. Yep.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, been a while, bro. So yeah, that's exciting, man. So definitely everyone peep that. We'll obviously share it on the Audio Theory page and obviously everything else. But cool, man. Let's get to it. We are going to go on hiatus next week as Blair is traveling the world, but we'll be back and with still plenty of content on all socials. But dude, I want to start with an artist who you and I have both, I wouldn't say shitted on, but never took seriously, and that's both Lil Yachty. Lil Yachty just dropped an album called Let's Start Here. Before we go into what type of music it is, how did you feel? Was there any anticipation from you when knowing that he was about to drop an album this past week?
I didn't really anticipate much, to be honest. I haven't been the biggest fan of Yachty, but I never there's a handful of songs that I do like from him, and I just assumed the sound would be pretty much identical to previous stuff he's put out. So I had intentions to listen to it, but I didn't have high expectations.
Got it. Okay. But were you leaning towards like it was going to sound a lot like Poland, like that shit that he just dropped?
Yeah. I thought that's exactly what I thought it was going to sound like.
Okay. Yeah. Cause that dropped when I was with you and I was like, bro, we were like, yo, like, what are we missing? Why is this not resonating at all with me, bro? Cause everyone, the mother was like, bro, this is genius. Do you understand what he's trying to do here? And I'm like, nah, bro, not at all. So, okay. I would say for me personally, I think I've gone on the record and say this a lot. And this is not where my initial Joe Budden's comparison comes from. But I remember Joe Budden's going off on him on the Complex show they had back in the day with Academics. And Yachty was like, bro, just show. I was like, no, bro, like you have all this talent, bro, like follow through with this shit. And that I was like, bro, but does he? Because like I personally haven't ever heard a body of work from him that I'm like, dude, this is groundbreaking. Like I should be listening to Yachty every second of every day. That's never happened. I've heard moments of songs and I'm like, oh, this is dope, right? Like the Super Duper Kyle shit he'd had. There was one song with Diplo and Santi Gold that I am obsessed with, right? But never had any high hopes. And then when Poland dropped, I was like, bro, like if this is the new version of you, like I'm good, bro. This is just fine. Like it's not for me. Maybe it's a Gen Z thing. But dude, I will say when I heard this album was dropping, I was genuinely excited. And it only was because of the work he did on Her Loss. Because I always knew him and Drake had a close relationship. And I know Drake was on a song of his back in the day, like the Oprah song or whatever. And I was like, that's cool. It's a feature, blah, blah, blah. But like, I didn't realize like the Her Loss, like production and all that stuff on that album made me feel like, oh wait, this guy has like an ear for music that I can fuck with, right? Because in the past, I just couldn't take Yachty seriously. Like there's nothing here for me to take serious. So I will say in the anticipation for this album, I was like, oh dude, I gotta peep this. But that being said, I was assuming I'm gonna hear some shit like Her Loss, like just a more sophisticated hip hop album, as opposed to what we got with this body of work. And if you guys haven't listened to it yet, spoiler alert, this is more like a, dude, indie rock meets jazz. If anything, dude, like, this might sound blasphemous if you haven't heard the album or if you don't like it, but it's almost like what I think Outkast or Andre 3000, when he took that aggressive pivot when he dropped The Love Below. Like, an aggressive switch, right? Like, that's what I got from it. So what did you get from it, and how did you like feel about the actual album itself?
No, that's a dope take. I like that comparison. So I wasn't really on social, so I had no like gauge as to whether I should or shouldn't like this or should be excited. I just so happened to be on YouTube, and Anthony Fantano, the popular music reviewer on YouTube, he was just, doing like a listening session through a few of the songs. So I turned it on. This was on Saturday, and I was pleasantly surprised. I think the two words that came to mind immediately is I was super impressed, and then I was super proud, which is weird because like I have no reason to be so invested in Lil Yachty's career or anything. I never really was before, but I think the risk he took, for me, it personally worked. It was just very good, feel good music, and just so far removed from what we're accustomed to getting, especially from rappers like him. And I think it's really something that we need within the genre. I guess technically this is a completely different genre.
I would say, because I don't really have any moments where it's like even any bars he's trying to spit,
And half the time I was like, what am I listening to? And I like the fact that I couldn't put it in a box. Like, that was the most exciting part. I was like, I don't know what genre this is, but I wish I could teleport to Coachella and hear this live. It would be amazing.
Yeah, dude. And I haven't smoked for a month because of my cleanse. But yeah, dude, like when I heard this, I totally agree with your takes, and I'm gonna respond. But like when I heard this, I was like, bro, I cannot wait to be in my backyard listening to this fucking album, bro. Like, bro, I mean, this is just like, I feel like I'm not even able to appreciate the full album without like being under a substance. But that's funny, man, because I thought we were talking offline, and just to give you guys more behind the scenes, like when Blair and I were talking about it, he's like, no, I don't want to tell you my thoughts yet till the episode. So I was for sure like, yo, you're going to shit on this? No. You're going to be like, bro, what a waste of my fucking time. So like, I'm glad you actually enjoyed it.
Yeah. I wanted it to be more authentic, so we didn't get like all the same points out and not get as excited as we are right now.
No, dude, I love it. Yeah, but Sam, like I was off social. I only knew about the album dropping because like I saw something randomly pop up on my Instagram about like, I think the page that you were on once, like that lists all the albums dropping like on a Friday. And I was like, oh fuck, Yachty's dropping. That's exciting. But yeah, bro, I don't know what the feedback was. Because of my surgery, I missed the actual drop. So I was like, yo, when I get back and I have time alone, I'm going to just listen to this album. And bro, I was, dude, completely confused in the most beautiful way. I thought from the jump, dude, Black Seminole to the last song, I think The Alchemist, like, bro, like the flow of this album is so cohesive and trying to take you to another dimension that, again, I think there is a sense of like being proud of someone with this, right? And it's crazy though, because I started thinking like, are we proud only because he took a risk? Because I feel there's also this kind of thing in the community, in the culture, where it's like everyone thinks at times they can be a rock star, and it's like, yeah, dude, but it's also like it's not good. You know what I mean? Like, because I feel like about Playboi Carti or like other artists who like try to like make this aggressive pivot, and it's like, dude, I appreciate the effort, bro, but that's not it. Whereas with this, I was like, no, dude, like this deserves all of the accolades it may get in the future, because this is a risk, but also a risk that delivered in every possible category you can hope for with whatever this genre. Like, it's just good music to fucking listen to, bro. Like,
right.
In so many different like vibes you try to be in.
Right. And I think why I'm so proud is because, he delivered, but this kind of music like a rapper who tries to make this kind of music or vice versa is so unique, and only Yachty can do this and make this because he's himself and he just comes from a different background. And I think if more rappers specifically took risk, you know, maybe we can get, you know, new blends of genres and things that are pretty much impossible to create without them. Because yeah, I guess this like psychedelic rock funk, you know, genre kind of already exists, but those people aren't Lil Yachty. They're not gonna have the same ideas and concepts and everything to
yeah, they're not Lil Yachty, and they don't look like you and I, and they don't have a different background that it will give like a unique take to it, right? Like at some point those guys all sound the same, which is I'm sure is what hip-hop sounds like to other people who don't really fuck with the genre.
Right. The question for you though, do you think this is Grammy worthy? And do you think, if so, do you think it'll get lumped in with the like hip rap genre?
Oh, like the urban category?
Yeah.
I definitely think it's Grammy worthy, bro. Because I don't know about you, but there was a time for me when I was in high school that I went through like a crazy, like, not acid rock phase, but like, dude, I was really into the Doors. And I don't know if you ever heard any like songs by Jim Morrison, the Doors from back in the day. Yo, this gives heavy the Doors vibe. And that's like the ultimate compliment, bro. Because if you ask anyone about like rock music, like the Doors are like on like the Mount Rushmore of rock music. So yeah, this is definitely Grammy worthy, bro. Man, and I hope that this is an album that as of now, yes, they're gonna, fortunately, like I think they would put this a part of like best hip hop album. But I really hope like there's another thing like best contemporary album or best something else, because I don't think it should be lumped into that. I think one is disrespectful to the overall culture, and then also disrespectful on some like racist shit, like, oh, because he's black with red dreads, he has to be a rapper. And it's like, yeah, where do you hear rap in this at all, bro? Like, not even the skits in this shit have rap. Like, bro, there's no rap lyrics in this album whatsoever, dude.
I mean, I think there's only a couple moments that come to mind. I don't know if that profanity would necessarily mean that it falls in the rap category, but there's a couple like references to titties and stuff like that.
Maybe like if you put "Pop That Pussy for Me" in any album, it's like, bro, it has to be a rap album.
Right? Like the only people who are gonna get excited when a song starts with "Pop That Pussy" are people who are hip hop fans.
Yeah, so that's maybe, dude. But I would say, I would really hope that, again, actually the Grammys, it's funny, dude, I know we did our episode back a few months back, and like the Grammys are this Sunday, and it's like, bro, I give two fucks, bro. Like I already know like Drake's not involved, Kendrick's gonna win everything, so like who gives a fuck? But I would love if he wasn't nominated for a hip hop album. But dude, this album, again, dude, it's praise, very high praise, but that came out in January. Dude, I'm saying it's gonna be tough to find 7 more albums better than this in 2023.
Yeah. I'm glad he started off the year strong. And especially during a time where people actually care to listen because there's not really anything else going on. So whoever's bright idea was to drop right now is super smart with that.
Yeah, dude, super smart, man. Cause it's weird, bro. Like, yeah, there really isn't much going on. And I don't know, because everyone's doing dry January and we're about to go heavy as fuck on the alcohol and like weed, like come February. But like, bro, like, yeah, it's like, because it's not even just me. Like, again, I've been home in like cabin fever because my hair shit, and I haven't been drinking. But dude, like, none of my boys are doing anything and they have no excuse. They're like, yeah, dude, I don't want to go outside. I was like, all right.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, shout out to Yachty. Great album. I'm sure when we get into Heat of the Week, it might be in there as well. But want to jump off something you said as well. Like, it's hard to create this kind of sound, right, with the current group of artists, or so we think. Something that's being like, a lot of people are using to create a sound they would never make before, or do things they would never make before, is the AI platform called ChatGPT or GPT.
Yep, GPT. Yep. ChatGPT. Yep.
All right. So ChatGPT is, I guess, a rave right now. I think it actually came out early last year, but I guess it's more public now. I believe there was at one point in a 5-day span, they gained over 1 million users, which is wild. And dude, honestly, you're more in touch with the tech world, so I'll let you explain really what the platform is, because I've only heard about it through people who've actually used it on a couple occasions, or just like, Instagram going crazy about it. So I'll give the floor to you.
Yeah, at a high level, I mean, it's an AI system that essentially you can ask to, answer a question, provide a background on a specific topic, even generate something that didn't exist before, like a poem or a song about a particular topic.
Yeah.
Really anything you want to ask it. And you could kind of think of it as an advanced replacement of Google search even.
That's what a lot of people are saying. Yeah, that's what a lot of people are saying, yeah.
I mean, that hasn't quite happened yet, but I know Google's scared that may actually happen in the near future, from what I hear at least. So
they'll probably just buy that shit for $35 trillion.
Yeah. Apparently Microsoft or something's planning on buying it. So
really? Interesting. Yeah. Okay.
But yeah, I mean, I myself have used it a few times.
Because it's currently free, right?
Yeah, it's currently free. I think if it does get bought out by Microsoft, I heard rumors that they would charge like $40 a month or a year or something to monetize it, which
got it.
I'm sure people will pay for. But it is as crazy as it sounds. Out of the blue, I just was like, all right, write me a song in Spanish about dancing on the beach. And it did it in 10 seconds. I searched the lyrics on Google just to double check that it, wasn't pulling from 10 songs and pretending like it was brand new. And it was dope. Like the chorus was catchy. Like it made sense. It didn't sound like just some bullshit thing a little kid did.
Right.
I did the same thing. I was like, write me a rap song about X in the voice of Drake, basically. And it used his style, and it was creepy. I mean, it wasn't nearly as good as an actual rapper who has bars and punchlines, but if you were just a nobody and you're like, all right, let me just practice and make a couple songs over a beat or something, like easily this tool is insanely powerful.
Yeah, because I guess like the comparisons to Google, it's more like a Google on steroid, because it just takes out the like you actually searching through the different clicks, right? It's like, no, this is the answer, as opposed to like, well, click on this, and if you do your own research, you'll find out more about it, right?
Right. Yeah, it takes out the guesswork. I'm guessing it kind of consolidates all the top sources and just makes it quick and digestible for you. You can even tell it how short you want the explanation to be. Like if you have a book report and you want it to be 500 words.
I heard about that, dude. So one of my a person I know was emailing someone, and he's like, yo, help me write this email. And then it's like, make it shorter. And then it was like a perfect 4 sentences that worked. I'm like, keep doing that, bro. Like if that works for you. But yeah, so I guess the thing is, obviously people are up in arms about this, because again, I guess the fear is, as you keep making these things smarter and smarter, are we gonna get innately dumber and dumber, right? I think that's a genuine concern. But then I feel like there's always been something that came around that had the option to do that, but it's on the person itself if you actually want to learn something, right? It's that's my thing is obviously I want to talk about music, but with books, right? I go back to where we're in college. It's bro, I could give 2 fucks about this class. Let me just read the Spark Notes and I'll pass my exam and we'll keep it moving, right? But then fast forward to as an adult, bro, I want to read this book to learn and properly get enamored and inspired by some shit. So I'm not going to read the Cliff Notes version, right? So yeah, I feel like that's still possible. But where I get fearful as a consumer of music and maybe movies or whatever, damn, man, this is going to take the love that when I hear a lyric that I'm man, damn, bro, this is computer generated though, bro. You don't really feel this shit,
Right. No, that's a good point. I mean, from what I hear, apparently there are tools that can kind of detect if ChatGPT was used to generate something, because I know a lot of copywriters, people who write ads and stuff,
are losing their mind. Probably
they're losing their mind, but some people are not as concerned, and they're saying, well, you can use this tool to do this, or these tools don't have the ability to be as creative or imaginative or whatever, which I think is partially true. But at the same time, maybe someone like you and I who don't want to spend $1,000 on a copyright per month will just use this instead. So
yeah,
I guess it depends. But in terms of music, I feel like, we kind of already do have, I guess, automation in a way. Like there's some artists who have 15 writers just making some generic shit. And
that's a great point. That's a great point.
So I don't know if people would necessarily care if they found out Rihanna's hit song was written by ChatGPT, as long as the song was fire. But if it was Nas, there's no way in hell anyone would celebrate Nas if they found out his last album with Hit Boy was just typed into ChatGPT.
Well, I think, but then that's the thing where like the dangers that I think of like Instagram, right, or social media in general, like in back in the day, like when our parents were like our age, right, like to have access to a celebrity was like, bro, like what do you mean you just saw, Denzel Washington at the club, right? Like that's like unheard of, bro. Like you must be it. Whereas now, like you could be like, oh, I saw this person on a TV show. Let me DM them until they're forced to respond to me. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Whereas like, I think it's going to, for the average consumer who finds out a Rihanna, hypothetically, use a platform like this, and they're going to be like, bro, I'm pretty. Why can't I just use this? You know what I mean? Why can I make my own version? Like, who the fuck is she? So I wonder if that takes some of the like, that's why I think Hollywood is struggling, bro. Because like, bro, like why there's people on YouTube are way bigger stars than people in Hollywood, if you really think about the numbers. But there's still like like, oh my God, Hollywood created this. So it's like a bigger deal. I feel like if anyone can make a hit now, it's just like, bro, like, I think overall it just like lowers the value or like lowers the standard of what being a good artist is.
Definitely fair. But just looking at like, I guess mainstream music, not necessarily the indie people, I feel like we're still so invested in the story of or even brand or personality of these artists.
Okay.
That it still would make it hard for an artist to just be completely created from scratch. I know people joke around and say, Bad Baby doesn't have talent, or this person doesn't have talent. They have 500 writers and this and that. But the thing you can't really replicate is their personality and just essence of being human. Because think about it, like in theory, someone could fucking hand you Drake's lyrics and beats and everything, but you can never be himself and have his background in Canada and meetings with Lil Wayne and shit. Like all that stuff just couldn't be completely duplicated.
Sure.
And I think they're trying to
100%.
I think they're trying to do that with a lot of people that pass, like X and Juice WRLD.
Yeah, no, you're right, dude. Yeah, it's very like, again, because it's still like such the infancy stage that it's the initial like, oh my God, bro, what is happening? But I really do think, like, similar to a lot of things, like this is just like, if you want to use this tool to actually become more intelligent, better at something, it will help you with that, right? To your point with like Spanish, right? Like, dude, this probably can help you learn Spanish at a level you didn't even think was possible a month and a half ago. You know what I mean? But you're going to still have to put in the work to do that, right? Whereas other people might just like, yo, I can do this and pass my Spanish test and get an A and move on with my life. So I think it's just like how the user, like anything, how the user chooses to use it. But
for sure.
Yeah, it's still like wild though, bro, because like it's like, again, I'm used to just Google, but like Google still means work, bro. It's not just like, here's your answer.
No, you can definitely take shortcuts and whatnot, but even like in school, like, there's been times where I use Cliff Notes to get rid of some homework that I didn't feel like doing. But then what happens when I have a test or the teacher's like, get up and write a sentence about this? Then
you're like, what?
Like, it doesn't work then.
100%. No, dude, I remember vividly my English 104 class, dude, it was a book. And I was just like, bro, I am not reading this shit.
Yeah.
Did Spark Notes, got an A-. Oh, dude, life is good. And then, but then you meet up with a friend who's also in that class with you to talk about the story. You're like, ugh, bro, like, I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about, bro.
No, I definitely got caught so many times with that. But I guess it also matters if you actually care about the subject. Because I know for a fact I didn't care about the things that I was taking the shortcut with.
Sure. No, dude, it's all fair. Yeah, and again, I'm just intrigued. I got to fuck around with it myself. I don't really think I have a purpose right now. Maybe as far as like, because it gives you advice on like general shit too. Like if I'm like, dude, probably like for me, like looking into real estate, like, hey, give me the numbers on the best 5 markets as of this date to property value or some shit, right? Like,
yeah,
shit like that. So like, yeah, I guess for the people who like have those thoughts, but like don't know how to create the Excel spreadsheet that will make that happen for them. Like that's probably a beneficial tool. But again, it's you're using it to your benefit as opposed to short-term, like, oh, I'm cheating the system kind of a thing. Cause
right.
Yeah. But I also do think the same way with plagiarism in college, when we like were eventually like, going through college, like when that became like, they're going to find a way to figure out like, bro, this paper was generated on this, like it's still plagiarism. You know what I mean?
Right.
There's no way, like, because if they can create that, they can create the thing that checks that.
100%. Yeah.
Yeah. But dude, wild times. But you being in the tech world right now, is this something that's like causing a ruckus as a massive disruptor, or this is like not surprising at all?
It is, but I think more so for Google specifically. As you know, they laid off 12,000 people.
Damn, I didn't realize it was 12,000.
Yeah, 12,000. A couple people that I used to work with were affected, so it's kind of crazy to see that because they were definitely high performers who had been there for a long ass time. So I think Google's investing in AI. I don't know if they've explicitly said because of ChatGPT, but I feel like every company, like AI is the sexy thing to invest in. So I know a lot of companies are probably fearful, and not even just tech companies, but I guess people in roles, like even like mine, like just digital marketing. Some people for a long time have felt like, you know, the stuff we could do can be fully automated. A lot of the stuff we do is already automated, but I think that human component is still really difficult to replace. Like,
yeah, dude, and same for me, like being in sales, bro. Like that's an actual fear of mine. But then I see how the job is at times like 98% dependent on the human like interaction. So it's like then I can breathe it now. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm good. I have at least like 5 years left. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah. And there's always like, even I don't know if you guys use any automated tools, but like even the stuff we use, I always have to sort through it and tweak it because it's never perfect. Like it only knows what you tell it, and every advertiser's situation is different. So you can, like, it's literally impossible to have like a cookie cutter solution that works for every single business.
No, dude, I 100% agree. But it is interesting, man. And it feels like from the things I read on like Bloomberg and just people talking about at the office, it does seem like a disruptor that's like could really fuck shit up. But like, I mean, thus far it seems like in a positive way. But like anything, like there's always going to be ways to take advantage of this, and like some people are going to benefit wild. And I feel like it's going to feel wrong. It's like, like, oh, really, bro? Like that's how you got on? Like, but teach their own.
Plus, I mean, we're both in sales. So someone's got to sell something, like regardless of what it is, like even if it's this thing. So I'm personally not too afraid about that.
Yeah, no, I agree, man. But we'll find some more research. If you guys have some comments about it, leave it in the comment section. Love to hear your point of view. One last topic before we get out of here. You had this here, bro. So I wanted to ask you about it. The Metro Boomin. You wanted to talk about Metro Boomin and the just how the album has been doing overall, because just a side note, I think he's the highest streamed producer per month on Spotify, and it's like not even close.
Oh wow, yeah, he's one of those rare guys, like a kind of DJ Mustard, like who is an artist himself in a way,
right?
And just
but what's wild is that, dude, 6 years ago I went to see, he opened up for Bryson Tiller. And it was, I saw him twice actually, like but dude, just like a DJ set. But it's sick because then you realize, like, oh fuck, he produced all these songs he's DJing. Like that's the fun part. You're like, oh wow, this motherfucker is talented as shit. It's like an hour-long set. You're like, wow, like
But I wanted to discuss him because I know he had the recent album. Was it Superheroes vs. Villains? Is that the name of it? But apparently he announced a new collab album. He didn't mention the person.
Okay.
People are trying to speculate and figure out who it is. Some are like 21 Savage, Future, or Travis. I think were probably the three big ones that people suspected. But
okay,
I feel like depending on who it is, it could be a massive moment for said person.
For the other person.
For the other person, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So do you want to guess who it is, or do you want to go through and like who do you think like the biggest collab album of all time is?
We could go with the latter.
Okay.
Biggest collab album of all time.
Okay, so I'm gonna say personally, even though I love Her Loss, me personally, and like what it meant for music after the album dropped, I would say Watch the Throne is the biggest collab album of all time. Like what that album meant for so many different people, bro. Like what Jay-Z already was, what Kanye was becoming, the risks, like the production quality that you had, like Jay-Z rapping on every single track. You had moments from Beyonce. You had that young ass producer Lex Luger, like was still like dropping like gems, and you're like, bro, isn't he like 14? Like, how is this possible? You had Niggas in Paris, which was like the biggest song of like the fucking millennium. Like, bro, like it was just a movie. And then seeing them perform that album live was also like just insane to me. I think like honestly, that the album was probably created for like an arena atmosphere, like every time you listen to it. So I would say Watch the Throne, bar none, is the greatest collab album as far as like two artists coming together or rapper and producer coming together. Like I think that's just like not the standard, bro, but like whatever, like whoever's like the average, like this is just like way above that. Like this is number one, and there's like, and I don't think anyone's in 2 or 3.
Yeah, no, I think that it's hard to dispute that, honestly, and that didn't come to mind for some reason. I think because it was so long ago. But
dude, so long ago, dude. That shit dropped in 2012.
11, I think. Right? 11.
So yeah, I think around that time. I just graduated college, so yeah, like right around then.
Yeah, I was just finishing as well. But yeah, it was a monumental moment. I remember having it on replay. Like everyone within hip hop rejoiced. It just felt like the body of work could do no wrong. Obviously, Niggas in Paris 10 years later is still being played at weddings, parties.
That's just being played at my wedding, bro. I'll tell you right now.
That was the go-to at my cousin's wedding because we were in Mexico and the DJ, for whatever reason, just wasn't playing anything good. And
really?
My cousin's like, go over there and fix it. And I was racing to think of like just a universal hip hop song that everyone could go crazy to. And I just told him to put that on. Done. Everyone was going crazy.
Everyone was happy, bro. Just
energy
like,
changed.
Yeah, I remember I was like talking to a girl once, and her friend didn't like the beat, and I was just like, bro, I don't like you.
Yeah.
Like I don't like you. I was like, bro, you got your fucking mind, dude. Like, dude, everything about that song is. Yeah. And then again, like I don't know if you remember, but like when the album came out, and they went on tour. The thing was like, again, there was no social media back then. But like on all the blogs was like at every different state and venue was how many times did they do Niggas in Paris in a row? Because at the Miami show, they did it 7 times in a row. So then it was like, oh, but in New York, they did it 10 times. In Minnesota, they did it 5. Like, yo, that was like the thing. So not everyone wanted to go and see it. Like, yo, it was a movie on so many levels, bro. So yeah, that's
crazy.
That was up
7 times? Shit.
Dude,
that's
the
like
Miami one was 7 times in a row.
Damn.
And then dude, it's not even like people just from the nosebleeds to the ground, everyone is dancing nonstop and like run it back, like like crazy.
I mean, they're lucky there's a damn beat change in there. Otherwise, you probably go crazy by the end. Yeah,
but dude, wild. But all right, so then if you think that one, if you agree, I feel like you're agreeing with that one. Who do you think is like a close second then?
So this one isn't a close second because it never came out, but I was wishing and hoping, and I think this would have been up there, would have been the Kendrick and J. Cole collaboration that they were teasing.
That was a rumor to happen. I never even heard of that.
I think it was a rumor. I'm pretty sure they like confirmed or teased that, it was a strong possibility, and it just never happened. And I know it was like kind of like Detox with Dr. Dre. It was one of those things where like we need it now, and
it's like a myth.
Yeah, it's like a myth. They're kind of like dropping little cryptic messages about it happening, but it just never did. But I think it could have definitely competed with Watch the Throne for sure.
Oh, dude, but yeah, I don't know about production quality, but just like the energy you're gonna get from those two like goats. No, you're right, dude. Dude, honestly, we could have a whole episode about like the greatest collab albums that never happened, bro. Yeah. Because like that's a theme in hip hop in itself, right? A couple that come to mind. There was meant to be a Lil Wayne and Joel Santana "Can't Feel My Face" whole mixtape album come out that never happened, bro. What else, bro? What was another like albums that were like we've been waiting on?
Lil Wayne and T-Pain we're supposed to do one, right?
Then they did do one.
T-Wayne?
Didn't T-Wayne come out, or they just dropped like a couple songs?
I feel like it was just a couple songs. I don't think it was like a full-fledged rollout.
Okay, then you're right. That I know.
And if they did do it, that shit was like 20 years later.
Yeah, I think they did do it. I think it was that. I think they did like 20 years later. Like no one cared.
Yeah,
I could be wrong though. We'll
might be right.
We'll verify that through ChatGPT after this. I know there's rumors about a Drake and Rick Ross one. I feel like that'd be more for hip hop. I don't know. There's something about Rick Ross right now that I think he's officially converted to like the OG realm, where like you really have to be a hip hop head to fuck with him. Whereas like 5 years ago, like even at Rolling Loud, like everyone was excited about Rick Ross, kids. But like I feel like he's crossed over. Like, bro, you're like exorbitantly rich right now. Like, we can't take you seriously anymore. Yeah, like we get it. You're a great rapper, but bro, like just make your money and leave us alone, kind of a thing. Yeah. But you know what's funny, bro? It's probably like no one would ever add this to a list because of like how toxic the name is. But there's a good argument to make, bro. Like Jay-Z has 2 of the top 3 collab albums of all time. So Watch the Throne 1. Bro, Jay-Z and R. Kelly, Best of Both Worlds. Bro, them shits bangers, bro. Yeah. Non-stop. Like non-stop bangers. But again, like even then it was toxic because that was like when like shit started coming out about R. Kelly. But now, bro, you can't play those songs anywhere without getting fucking canceled.
Right. Those are actually the only R. Kelly songs, now that I think about it, that I genuinely listened to like a lot. He was fuck with. I actually saw him. He was the first person I ever saw in concert. Me and my dad and my brothers went to go see him.
Bro, you know who was my first ever concert? Drew Hill.
Drew Hill?
Yeah. My mom took me to a Drew Hill concert after school one day. Yeah.
That definitely dates us.
Yeah, dude, dates us bad, bro. Like, they're like, yo, what is a Drew Hill? But yeah, dude, I'm telling you, I think Best of Both Worlds is like a top 3 collab album, bro. Because like you get like, especially like great R&B singing, great production, and then Jay-Z just in his bag, like prime Jay-Z. Like, bro, like if you go through those songs, man, there's like, I think the production was like Trackmasters. And it's, there's a couple songs that's just like, I'm gonna listen to this shit like all day tomorrow now to drive to work.
I know.
Like it's so
now that you mentioned it, I know I'm gonna have to add a song.
That's cool. I'm excited because Metro Boomin has the skill to really make it work. I think his collabs are just so impressive because he's not singing or rapping. It's just like, bro, I'm gonna get to know this artist on such a level that we're going to be so in sync when it comes to the songs I make for you, kind of a thing.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, he's one of the few artists that can do that. And I'm glad producers are doing this. Yeah, not feel forced. And I like when producers do this because it's cohesive. Sometimes it's nice when a body of work has a similar production style as opposed to like a ton of old school shit and then, mainstream beats. And then you're just like, all right, what mood am I supposed to feel?
Correct. And that's like, dude, I love 50 Cent. But I remember a couple interviews, dude. This was like when 50 Cent was like the man, bro. And like, you could tell him no wrong. And like, again, he was just so good on all these hooks that you're like, bro, like, yeah, it's a hit. But even he said one of his regrets was that when he was at his peak, he would just say, yo, just send me beats and I'll figure it out myself. And it's like, bro, like, you get 100 beats and you're trying to pick the best 14. They might be the best 14, but number 13 doesn't go with number 9. Like, bro, like it's just all over the place, bro. And I feel like that was probably the reason for like the rise of whatever happened like in 2008 onwards. Cause bro, there was like a range where like these albums were just like all over the place, bro. Like they all had the same R&B hook singing thing. The beats were all one fucking banger, and then like 5 throwaway songs. You're just like, bro, like I like it because you're the man, but like, bro, this isn't great. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I feel you on that.
Wild times. But yeah, that's a good topic. I'm glad we brought it up. But before we get out of here, bro, let's get to some heat of the week. Episode 130. As always, you can always go to the playlist on Spotify and Apple Music to peep some new music or some classic albums and songs. But for you, man, heat of the week. What's the song that stood out for you?
Yeah, so my heat of the week this week is Don Toliver. Song is called Night Scene. And this one's actually an unreleased track. So I was just casually on YouTube, and it was one of the autoplay videos. And fortunately stumbled upon like, I don't know, 10 unreleased songs. And
oh wow,
I'm always skeptical because, you know, sometimes people are clickbaiting.
Scammers, bro. Like
they just throw like lyrics on a new beat or something. But these are legit unreleased songs.
Drake and Tupac, unheard.
Like, like what? How does this work? But yeah, absolute fire song. Obviously not on Spotify and Apple because
that's what. So you're when you say unreleased, you mean like it's not on any of the major streaming platforms?
Correct.
Gotcha.
So you will have to download it and, you know, put it on your local computer or whatever.
Got it.
And get it that way. But definitely a super fire song. Kind of has the beat has kind of like a more old school, like a more R&B-ish vibe to it. It's not as like trappy and atmospheric as like a Travis Scott. Okay. You know, those beats that he typically sings over. Something that I think The Weeknd would sound super dope on if they were to collab, but really nice feel to it.
That's a collab we need, by the way.
Oh, hell yeah. Definitely campaigning for that. So super fire song. If you guys haven't checked it out, go to YouTube, search Don Toliver, Night Scene, and you won't be disappointed.
Night Scene. Question for you though, side note, not heat of the week related. How would you say from the moment we heard of Don Toliver in 2018 for the first time till today, has his career been as expected, more than expected, or a disappointment?
I would say, generally speaking, like, I feel like he's kind of in limbo. Like, I feel like the next couple years for me will really solidify it, but I don't think it's peaked as high as I thought. Granted, I'm still really impressed that like he and Bieber, you know, have collaborated a few times. So I think he's definitely getting his respect in the game in that regard, but I would have imagined him to be much higher than he is right now.
Yeah, that's fair. I would say when I first heard him on those couple tracks on Astroworld, I would still say he's overachieved up until this moment. I think we're both like blown away by what the talent is, and we're like, bro, this guy should be a star. But at the end of the day, you were also just like a backup singer on Cactus Jack, you know, like on whatever, a record label, and now you're like a guy that's like dating a fucking you know, extremely popular singer as well. Like to your point with Bieber, he's in all the right circles. So like I would still say he's probably like ahead of schedule for me. Because like, yeah, like I know like the talent is immense. But at the end of the day, bro, like it's not like he's been being groomed for like 15 years and that he's finally it's still like a pretty short career thus far.
Yeah, true.
But yeah, to go from a feature on Astroworld to now you're like a leading man in some kind of capacity, it's pretty fucking crazy. Yeah,
I guess I give a little too much credit to the potential benefit of being like the right hand man of someone who's mega popular.
Sure, but it's probably harder, bro. Think back to my 50 Cent, like bro, like being Lloyd Banks and Tony Yayo, like that comes with a cost, because then people just look at you like you're only famous because of your boy, and it's like
right. And that's why when people talk about nepotism, I'm like, yeah, it's cool getting you in the door, but then people start comparing you and expecting way too much. And I think there is a huge benefit to being a completely random unknown person.
Yeah.
And just blowing up on your own, because then people can't point fingers and be like, oh, well, you're just Snoop's cousin. Like, that's why you're here.
Right. To the point then why what Drake has done and is doing is wild. Because there was a lot of that. It's like, bro, like sign me to Lil Wayne and I'll fucking, and it's like, bro, he signed 40 people and they suck, bro.
Right. Drake's OVO label is proof that like you could have all the connections on the planet, but like you just have to find a pocket to like dominate, because they could show you the door, but your ass has to sprint through that door.
Yeah, and dude, what's wild about OVO, like, again, these guys are probably, they know who cuts the check, right? But them niggas all seem happy. Like, all, like, and it's like, you would think, like, bro, don't you want to be bigger? And like, it's like, but you said, like, they all have their own pocket that it's like, well, we're the biggest in this little world, and we're fine with that, bro. Because, like, Party Next Door, Preem, Majid Jordan, and what, Division? Bro, those are 4 massive names if you kind of think about it.
That's true.
But they're not like in like the global scheme of things, probably not. But like in their little spaces, it's like, bro, they're like the marquee of those spaces. Like, that's pretty crazy.
And they're probably fine being like legends in Canada.
Yo, legends.
Like over there, they're treated probably like, I don't think we could fathom how good they probably have it over there when they're.
Yeah, because the Party Next Door already gets wild love here. So imagine what he gets like back there, like in London. But yeah, interesting. But yeah, just like the Don Toliver thing, because I feel like that's a name that we always talk about, but it's never like to a crazy level. But then I feel like, should we? Like, you know what I mean? Like he was just like,
maybe it's like Nate Dogg kind of love in a way.
Yeah,
like you would never. I don't think anyone ever saw Nate Dogg as like a super crazy dope standalone artist, but you loved hearing him on all sorts of songs.
The voice just flows. Like it just flows. So no, I get that. But I'll definitely check out that song. You said Night Scene?
Night Scene, yep.
Nice. I'll peep that. For me, no surprise here. Lil Yachty off the album, The Ride, bro.
Oh, all right. I'm glad you said that. I knew you were gonna choose something from there, so I didn't want to double dip into Yachty's catalog, but love that song.
Dude, The Ride, that one is just crazy, bro. Crazy to me. So yeah, I really enjoyed that. A close second was Pretty, then The Alchemist.
That was my second.
Pretty?
Yeah, you need to get out of my head.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. Like I cannot wait to smoke just to hear that fucking album, bro. Like that album is just wild to me. And dude, if you have some downtime on your flight to LA, listen to some like Doors and you'll see the comparison. Like it's fucking obvious. You know what I mean? Word. So again, kudos for him for even having that kind of like again, like you said, it's amazing he could even create that kind of sound. Because there was no like hints of this leading up to this album. But
yep.
Awesome, dude. All right, man. Let the people know what they can peep us, what we got going on. Obviously plug the song one more time coming out tomorrow. Let's get out of here.
For sure. Yeah, song coming out tomorrow by Blair Anthony. It's called Reload. It'll be out at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 Eastern time on February 2nd. So make sure you peep that. Rap Nation's also going to be posting on their page. So that's super dope.
Amazing.
Love those guys. They always pay attention to my emails, which is really difficult with other blogs and everything else. But
because Rap Nation is like in like the high subscribers, right?
Yeah, they have like 5 million. I mean, granted, it's not like they're getting 5 million views per song. Like,
sure, but still, like, bro, that number's high, bro. Like, it's yeah.
So that's dope. Really looking forward to that one. You'll see a ton of TikToks from me, especially now that you told me I have to repost like 8 times a day for it to hit. So,
bro, at least, I'm telling you, this girl said at least 6, and she's like, it's funny because like the bitch is like, I'm surprised you think this is hard. It's like,
well, shit, say less. I'll be on it right now. But yeah, outside of that, check us at audio-theory.com. New episode every week. Spotify and Apple Music playlists. Merch as well. We also have the merch on the videos now. So if you guys are watching us on YouTube, look down below. You can buy a nice hoodie, shirt, whatever else. And then outside of that, we're looking to collab with some other YouTubers in the space, as well as do some more interviews. So be on the lookout for that. But loving the new content that we're pumping out and new topics. So fresh content as well, not just news itself.
Yeah, dude, more timeless stuff. And then obviously I think we with the contracts we're doing with the guy on Fiverr, just again, I think the quality of the content coming out in every aspect, like sound, visually, just is more in line of what we're trying to be in the future, which is great.
Yep, 100% agreed.
Cool. All right, my dude. Well, safe trip. I know we'll talk after it, but I love you. Be safe.
Appreciate it.
And
love you
we'll
too.
Talk soon.
All right. Peace.